Did you stop setting goals because you were so tired of your lack of follow through that you just gave up, or you avoid goal setting altogether because you just can't take it anymore? This video is definitely for you. So if you are an ADHD professional or entrepreneur who struggles with goal setting, actually sticking to your long-term goal, I want you to know that you're not alone, and we can definitely help you get better at that. In this video, I'm going to talk about why you can't stick to your goals, what would actually help you follow through more, and a simple plan that you can follow to actually boost your chances of sticking to your goals by up to 95%. Friend, you deserve goals. You deserve progress. You deserve to see things getting better in your life. So please don't give up on yourself or your goals. Your brain is not just broken or malfunctioning. Here's how we help you get that self-belief, self-trust, and accountability that you need as an ADHD professional or entrepreneur to actually achieve your goals and live a life that you're dreaming of. So first, I want you to know that motivation is the problem. I know you kind of suspect this, but you really want the things that you want. Your desire is huge. You know that you're capable. You know that you're smart. But for some reason, there's just certain things that you can't figure out, or that you feel like you're so much more stuck on than other people. Knowing what to do is not your problem. Taking action is. Following through and actually putting the ideas into practice in your daily life is the thing that is more challenging for you. What I need you to know about your ADHD brain is that you're wired for rewards. Your brain needs interest and novelty and excitement in order to stay engaged. You need competition, urgency, and you need rewards to actually get things done, which are all kind of challenging when it comes to long-term goals. When it gets hard for you or you hit friction, you might be somebody who goes into shutdown mode. If we're a little bit dysregulated and we go to start something and then we run into a problem that we were anticipating, or some kind of challenge that we aren't sure how to navigate in, we'll just give up and be like, oh, I'm done. I can't do any more of that today. It's not too much. You can figure it out. But we do need you to plan ahead for those kinds of obstacles so that you can be prepared, you can know what might come up, and you can know exactly how you're going to move through that friction when it happens so that you get the things done and you feel good about yourself. Movement has been shown to boost the availability of your executive function and make focus and attention more available for people with all brains, but also for people with ADHD. So I will make a plan that if I hit friction, what works really well for me is taking an executive functioning break boost where I do some movement. I'm going to set a timer and stick with it for at least 10 minutes and see if I can figure it out. After my timer goes off, if I have not solved the problem yet, or honestly, also sometimes if I have, I will get up and do a 5-minute movement break. I'll go bounce on my trampoline or go for a walk. And I have a list of rewards that I can choose that off of. We'll talk more about that later. And that helps me get through those moments of friction or the afternoon slump. We need you to come up with ways to give your brain the novelty and urgency and interest that it's craving to stay engaged in long-term goals. So think of ways that you can make your long-term goals more exciting, a little bit more interesting, or change up the way that you're working on them so that you're getting that novelty from somewhere. This could be working in a new cafe that you've never been to, or taking a new route on your way to work. Here's some pitfalls that can get in the way and derail ADHD professionals and entrepreneurs like you from sticking to their long-term goals and actually following through. Number 1, all or nothing thinking. A lot of us have this black and white thinking as a default when we're stressed. So if your brain goes into black and white thinking, all or nothing thinking, always never thinking, know that that is a big giant red flag that your thinking is currently unreliable. So don't trust it. I want you to think about whether or not what you're telling yourself is 100% definitely, absolutely, totally true. For sure, all the time. Most of the time, the answer to that is no, it's not. So if you catch that all or nothing thinking, I want you to stop yourself. Tell your brain, hey, that's not true. That's not reality. Let me find a thought that's more helpful. Give yourself a reassuring reminder. Remind yourself that if you keep practicing consistency, you can absolutely get better at it. And move on about your day without allowing that little monster in your brain to take over and knock you off track. Number 2, perfectionism. A lot of ADHDers have really internalized perfectionist thinking, and this causes us lots of stress and additional overwhelm that we cannot deal with. Your nervous system is not equipped to deal with that, I promise. So please let go of the perfectionist thinking. Perfection does not exist. Perfection is intent of white supremacy culture, and you probably don't want to be replicating that in your daily life or your relationship with yourself. So please drop the perfectionist thinking. Allow yourself to be human, allow yourself to make mistakes, allow yourself to have fluctuating energy levels and fluctuating capacities on different days like everybody else who's alive, and let that be okay for you. Number 3 is object impermanence. So a lot of ADHDers struggle with object impermanence, which basically just means if we can't see it, we forget about it and think it doesn't exist anymore. So you need to make your long-term goals something that you can remember. We are going to talk about ways to create visual reminders for those later on. Number 4 is shame and internalized ableism. So for many ADHDers, by the time that we're 10, we've had 20,000 additional negative comments sent to us by parents, teachers, and other adults who don't understand how our brain works or what we need. I'm so sorry that you've experienced this, and I promise that you don't have to let those negative comments, those negative voices live rent-free in your head and continue dictating how you live your life or talk to yourself on a daily basis. We need you to be your number one cheerleader and to give yourself the helpful reassurance that you need to actually stick to your goals. You're gonna need to give yourself encouragement. You're gonna need to remind yourself that I can do 5 minutes. I can work on this for 5 minutes today and make a plan to spend more time on it later in the week. You can set up a weekly check-in for yourself to check in on your goals and check in on the progress you made last week and plan for the progress that you want to make in the week ahead. These simple little shifts can be so profound and have such a huge impact on our self-talk and the way that we move through the world and how able we are to actually work towards long-term complex projects and solutions. You deserve to see this kind of progress in your life, and it is worth the effort that it takes to actually get these habits in place for you. So, here are 3 tips to stick to your goals. Actually follow through this time. So number 1, write it down. Make it specific. If you write your goals down, you are 42% more likely to achieve them. Number 2, we're going to need you to make visual reminders about your long-term goals that you are going to see and actually read and take in on a regular basis. So one way I like to do this for myself is I will rotate a sticky note every week, and I will write my biggest, most important long-term goal on a sticky note, and that sticky note will change every week. So it gets a new color, it gets a new location, and this way I keep my brain from tuning it out. You know, when a Post-it sits there for too long, you just stop reading it, you don't see it anymore, it's kind of invisible. That's why I do this. So changing the location of the Post-it every week keeps my brain on its toes. It actually encourages neuroplasticity, which helps me create new habits, and it reminds me of what my goals are and makes sure that I'm not forgetting about the things that I decided were important and valuable for me. Number 3, we need you to have a list of dopamine generating rewards that you give yourself for any effort that you make that is in line with your intentions and your goal. We want you to make a list of rewards. I like to keep mine on my phone so that I have it all the time, but whatever works for you is great. We want you to make a list of rewards that are not food or spending related. So things like listening to my favorite playlist, or going out for a walk, or bouncing on my rebounder for 5 minutes in the afternoon, or spending time on a phone call with a friend, or going for a hike. Things that you can do for yourself after you put in effort, after you do your follow through, to make it easier for you to follow through again next time. Because your brain is driven by dopamine. Every single time you make an effort towards your goals, we need you to give yourself those rewards, because that is what's going to lock in that habit and make it easier for you to want to do that again and to put in the focus in the future. And we want that to be as easy as humanly possible. So the more immediately you reward yourself after putting an effort towards your goals or sticking to a focus block, the more likely you are to be able to do that again. So don't skip this part. Give yourself one-time dance parties. give yourself the rewards you need to keep going, and put the fuel in the tank so that you actually follow through and stick to the goals that you want so badly. The bonus of this video, if you want to be 95% more likely to follow through and stick to your goals, you need, drumroll, accountability. So either you can hire a coach who works with people like you all the time, like me, and get the help that you need to make sure that you are actually following through and sticking to your goals in a non-judgmental, compassionate way. Or you can find a friend or a loved one, someone in your life, and make a structured, clear plan for how you're going to hold each other accountable on one specific goal. We want you to set the most important goal, the goal that helps make everything else easier, and just focus on that one for a while, if possible, especially in the beginning. Because it's going to build your trust and your faith in yourself. It's going to build your muscles of follow through, and this is going to make it easier for you to trust that you can actually get this stuff done. Comment down below and let me know what the most impactful thing from this video was for you, or what your biggest struggle or challenge is right now as an ADHD professional or entrepreneur. I'd love to know more of what content you'd like to see from me. And I'd love it if you could watch this other video right over here so that you can learn more about how you can work with your brain as an ADHD professional or entrepreneur.